Let's check in with Cartoonist Corner now, and I'm joined again by the Australians Johannes Leek and the Daily Telegraph's Warren Brown. Great to talk to you guys. Do either of you guys, what do you think of this voice debate? Has it only just begun, or are people weary of it already? What's your view, Warren?
Look, it's interesting. I mean, there's a theory now that perhaps it's the idea is waning. Maybe it's got a bit of the kind of the castle, the Dennis Denuto thing. It's the vibe. I mean, we're not hearing any detail about it, but I think it's a little bit bigger than just the voice. I think people are getting a little bit wary of the way the present government is handling this. We're finding bits and pieces piecemeal about things. So things like, what's happening with energy. It's like, we're going to cut coal-fired power. Well, what are we going to do then? Don't worry about it. And the same thing with superannuation. What's going to happen with that? Oh, don't worry about it. The same thing with the voice. There's very little detail. And you'd think after the sort of the referendum on the Republic years ago that they would have crossed the T's and dotted the I's, but they just haven't done that, I think, Chris.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, Warren. Yeah, and it's just the thing. It does go through a lot of issues with the Albanese government. It's kind of like, don't you worry, we're the government. We'll sort all this out. You don't need to know. We're going to do all this stuff and it's all going to be good. But so far, it ain't looking too good for them, Johannes.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I think they're sort of trying to, coax everybody into a sort of, a sense of, everything. Yeah, everything's going to be fine. But I think people are aware that this is a decision that could fundamentally alter the way government works in this country. But they're not being told how. They're just being told, look, just do the right thing and vote yes. In fact, there's only one right thing to do, and that is to vote yes. I think there's a lot of elements of the campaign that are operating with a sort of emotional blackmail sort of edge to them, and I think that puts a lot of people off. A referendum should be about yes or no. It's your choice, and both answers or both responses are reasonable. But in this
legitimate.
one, the way that Anthony Albanese frames it, there is only one right position to have on this, and that's yes. And if you don't say yes, you're a bad person. And I think that is enough to put a lot of people off.
It does. Unfortunately, sadly, that's the argument on a lot of issues with the left, and that's the trouble. You don't want to frame it in those terms. As you know, I'm a supporter, but I hate that kind of advocacy. It really is horrible. I just want to go to your cartoon for tomorrow, Johannes, because we happen to have it, and it does actually draw on these themes. And you've got the Indigenous communities who need some help out in the desert. And Albo's, he's Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. No, he's off to Sydney for the Mardi Gras. This is just genius, Johannes. Congratulations. That is beautiful. Yeah. And bravos for you too, Warren, because I want to show yours from today, because this cuts to the cost of living crisis. And you've got the shopping list for the Australian suburban family, and that's electricity, petrol, food, interest rates, housing crisis and the like. And, of course, over here, Albo's shopping list is The Voice, electric cars, superannuation and the Radio Birdman T-shirt. But this is it. You must be right on to this, Warren. Cost of living is everything. People are getting hit left, right and centre.
It's unbelievable. It's like what is going on? They've seem to have such tin ear to these things. People are really, really doing it tough. And I think what will happen is we're all sort of sleepwalking to all these things that are being engineered for us. One day, everybody's going to wake up and go, hey, I haven't got any fuel for my car. I can't afford it. I can't afford food. I can't afford rent. I don't have a house. Why is this? How did we get here? We've got all these other things, these sort of extraneous, big picture, lovely things like that. But it's really going to bite hard, and I think there'll be some kind of backlash, I reckon.
Now, I want to get some thoughts from both of you about Joe Biden and just how well he's going. He had a big week, of course, going to Ukraine, but a couple of other things went wrong. And I'm going to show you some pictures here that I've often told my producer not to put in the show, right? Now, there's lots of Biden stuff-ups and stumbles that I'm happy to show, but this one I always think is a bit too cruel. What do you think? I know we've seen that so many times. I just feel it's so cruel. But we know it tells an important story. But the reason I show it again was, well, the thing is, it happened again. Here's Joe Biden this week. Look, it's rough, Johannes, isn't it? Can't they park the bloody plane at an airport where it can just walk on an air bridge?
I know it is hard to watch. Whenever I see that, I always think of Monty Burns in The Simpsons. You know, the old ancient billionaire who sleeps in a cryogenic chamber. And there's one scene in The Simpsons where his hand, I think, is up against an air conditioning unit, and the fingers just flap like little twigs in the breeze. It's that kind of look. The poor old Joe. I mean, the stiff breeze blows up on the tarmac, and over he goes. It really is hard to watch.
Warren, why don't they? If they can't have an air bridge, let someone walk up with him, take his elbow. I mean, the bloke needs a steadying hand.
Look, he's only doing it to sort of lighten the mood. We all know that Europe's on the verge of a third world war, and he's just lightening the scene. Everybody loves a bit of slapstick, a bit of Buster Keaton, and he gets Buster Keaton. I mean, anybody can fall downstairs, but watch this, I can do upstairs. That's a pretty cool thing. Not everyone can do that.
He will be remembered for a long while for being the bloke who could always fall upstairs. Thanks for joining us, Warren and Johannes. Appreciate your time and love your work.